Marvel decided to drop the latest trailer for their upcoming Captain America 4, Captain America Brave New World. And there was some stuff that was kind of interesting about looking at the trailer, because the trailer by itself, I don't think it looks that bad. Anthony Mackie has previously said that they're kind of not necessarily rebooting the MCU, but kind of rebooting how they're doing their movies, or at least the tone of their movies. So instead of having like these huge world-ending consequences, they're kind of obviously have stories that have pretty big stakes to them, but they're going to kind of make it feel a little bit more grounded, kind of like what we saw with Captain America Winter Soldier. And that was definitely the vibe I got from the trailer. But there was some stuff I noticed from it that almost kind of confirms previous leaks that we got coming out of test screening. So I'm going to get more on that in a little bit. First, let's look at this article from the Hollywood Reporter talking about it. Anthony Mackie, who plays Sam Wilson, Captain America, is taking on Harrison Ford's Red Hulk in the new trailer for Captain America Brave New World. The footage below was unveiled at D23 Brazil fan event on Saturday with Mackie and Danny Ramirez, who portrays Joaquin Torres / Falcon, presenting the trailer to the audience. Okay, the film directed by yada yada yada. The inner circle's been compromised. Let me fix it, Mackie says in the trailer. As Ford replies, "Watch yourself. You're not Steve Rogers." Mackie says, "You're right. I'm not." Brave New World also includes Ramirez as the new Falcon, Carl Lumbly as Isaiah Bradley, Shira Haas as Israel superhero Sabra. And it's actually kind of interesting to note when it comes to her, because a lot of the stuff revolving around her character is alleged to have been changed in the reshoots. Apparently they're removing any mention of her Israeli heritage or her origin or something. I think they're even changing that for this movie because, well, after Palestine decided to attack Israel, there was a lot of people who took Palestine's side in that, and they don't really want to, or at least Marvel doesn't want to upset those people, so they're trying to remove any mention of having an Israeli character. She doesn't even apparently use her suit in this or anything like that. Basically, she's just like a foreign agent or something of that matter. I think she's supposed to be more, I don't know, Eastern European in this, or they're changing her origin or something like that. I don't know exact details, but I think that's what I remember reading. I'd have to double check on that one. Giancarlo Esposito as Sidewinder, Liv Tyler as Betty Ross, Tim Blake Nelson as Samuel Stern / the leader. And Giancarlo Esposito, his involvement has been, I don't know, a little bit strange since he kind of came in after they allegedly already shot principal photography. Then they brought in new writers. They cast him in this. So he's supposed to have a role in this. But one of the things, according to a lot of these leaks coming out, is that his involvement is pretty minor. Apparently he only has like a few, like a scene maybe at the start of the movie, and maybe he pops up throughout the movie a couple times, but he really doesn't have much of a part in this movie. He's just kind of there because, I don't know, they wanted to do something else or include him in it in some way, shape, or form. So that's what he's, and that would make sense given how he was kind of brought in after the movie was already shot and it was rewritten to include him. So usually you want to do something like that if he's going to be a prominent character. So it does make sense that he's going to be kind of a minor role. But going by the trailer, just looking at it here, you can see the like to dislike ratio is actually pretty positive. And I watched it myself and I thought, okay, yeah, it doesn't seem too bad just going by that. But just look at the very start of the trailer. So you see he's in
Here I am.
prison. Just kind of watch some of the stuff that they're showing here. Actually, I'll just kind of fast forward just a little bit because, yeah, it attacks the president. We saw that in the previous trailers. There's some new details from this one, though, that we haven't seen in previous trailers. So, here, I'll backtrack a little bit. All right, crap. Where is it? This is not good the way I'm doing. So anyway, they have this little bit right here. Okay, I guess it doesn't do it. He attacks someone, tries to take out the president there. They chase him to the street and he gets arrested. And then he's talking to Anthony Mackie or Falcon in prison, not really understanding what happened or anything like that to him. This is something that we haven't seen in any other trailer. This is new to this trailer alone. And the reason why this sticks out to me and why I'm talking about it right now is because according to this Reddit post right here, came out a month ago, you can see this is what was allegedly to have been leaked from a test screening. And I've said before when it comes to test screenings that you have to take them with a pinch of salt because there could be a lot of similarities to the test screening versus what's in the final product right there. So it's not necessarily a 1-for-1 thing, but one of the things coming out about this test screening is that the person who wrote this post is just saying it's not very good. So you can actually look this up yourself if you want to read all the full spoilers. I'm not going to necessarily do that, but it does say Giancarlo Esposito. It doesn't really have much of a role in this movie. He's just mostly there for a scene at the start, kind of like an action scene, similar to what we saw with what's his name at the start. It was at the start of Civil War. Dude who played Crossbones in that movie, who was in Captain America Winter Soldier. They brought him back just for like that action scene at the start of the movie where there was the explosion, and that was kind of it. What is it? Frank Grillo? Is that his name? Yeah, I think that's what it is. He was brought back for that movie just for that scene at the start of it, and that's it. I'm thinking Giancarlo Esposito will probably be playing a similar role, just something to do at the start of the movie, because that's why they brought him in. They needed like some action beat then, so they had that, and then it's going to go into the rest of the movie, and he's going to be kind of irrelevant. If he does pop up, it's not going to be any significant role, but just take a look at this. So Joaquin is trained by Isaiah Bradley, followed by a training montage with Sam and Joaquin and Isaiah throwing around punching bags. Sam is invited to the White House. He decides to bring Isaiah and Joaquin, and they party in a limo on the way to the White House. They take a picture with President Harrison Ford. I like how they call him that in this movie. Harrison Ford tells Isaiah, "I got to do a trick and do the trick and pony show, but stick around. I want to get to know you better." Okay, Sam's talking with them. Ross is almost assassinated by Isaiah Bradley, as well as other mind-controlled soldiers and security guards in the room. Sam chases Isaiah out into the streets, where Isaiah comes to and doesn't know where he is. He is arrested. They look into security footage and see Isaiah look down at his phone and is hypnotized by flashing lights. Later, we see the soldiers involved in the security guards in the room also got the same flashing on their phones. So you see what I mean? I'm not going to read this whole thing because this is spoilers for the whole movie, but that's what kind of stood out to me, because I did read this in the past. And then when I see the trailer and I see like, okay, there's details in this trailer that were also said a month ago in this pretty much spoiler leaks right here for the whole movie. And that's what leads me to believe that maybe there's a lot more to these leaks than what some people know. Now, some of the other details, especially later on in the movie, those could also be altered, because reading through this whole thing, I'll leave a link to it in the description of this video if you want to check it out for yourself. If you don't want to be spoiled or potentially spoiled, then you can just ignore it. I'm not going to go into all those details. But the reason why I'm bringing this up, because if the movie does follow what's going on here, or what's alleged to have been leaked from this, well, then that's not a good sign for it, because just reading through this, even though some of the movie doesn't seem so bad, it doesn't really seem great either. It's kind of like something, or at least the vibe that they got from this, is that they were just trying to piece together stuff in the movie, because there was a lot of things that weren't working. So they were doing reshoots and trying to fix stuff in order to try to make a movie that works. And there's a lot of stuff, or at least when it's all said and done, it's not a very coherent film. It just kind of seems like it's something that's jumbled together. At least that's what the person who posted this is saying about it. So that's not a good sign, especially when we have a new trailer coming out, and it almost seems to confirm some of the stuff that previously was unknown. So since these details weren't necessarily unknown from previous, or they weren't revealed in previous trailers, but they are now, it does look like that there's more validity to these rumors. The only question is whether a lot of the ending and other stuff like that seems to we don't necessarily know how the movie's going to end going by the trailer. It's just according to these leaks right here, what they're saying, it seems to fit like it would work that way. But who knows? Maybe this person, maybe the test screenings, they had different versions that they're showing different audiences, and maybe the final version will be a little bit different than what this person saw. But even then, I'm not necessarily sure how they'll make this movie work. Going off of the trailer, though, I do see that there is a potential to it. Like I said, I didn't mind the vibe from it. I thought that it does kind of feel like more of the phase 2 of the MCU, and I do like it if that's the direction they're trying to go with this. it might be a little too little too late, because this movie has been in the works for quite some time now. And even though they're trying to go back to almost their roots, what they were doing with the previous movies in the MCU, it's just, I don't know whether it's going to be enough, because it feels like this, at least the impression I'm getting, is this is basically a movie from different eras of the MCU that they're trying to almost put them both together, kind of like the post Endgame MCU, the one that a lot of people didn't like, versus the like the phase 2 of the MCU, the one that people liked. They're trying to find a way to mesh those together and make something that works. And maybe the final product will be better than what the person who saw the test screening saw. Maybe this will actually be a decent movie, but given how they reportedly spent nearly $500 million on this movie, I can't see them actually being profitable. They'll need to make obviously well over $1 billion, probably like $1.3 billion in order to be profitable from that, which means they'll have to do better than Deadpool and Wolverine. I can't see that being the case when it comes to this movie, but maybe they just figure like, okay, we're going to lose money on this movie, but if we make something that people will like, then it'll kind of regain our reputation amongst Marvel fans, and then we can move on from there. So you could see it as an investment in that sense. But if it doesn't work, then that means they spent a lot of money on this movie to try to make it work, and that investment doesn't pay off. But let me know what you think about all this in the comment section below. And also, if you haven't already, make sure you click that subscribe button if you want to stay up to date with the latest entertainment news. And don't forget to click that like button and share this video out there, because it really helps out with the channel. Thank you.